LeBron James had his moment early. Much respect for the two future Hall of Famers as James passed the 40,000 career point mark. But the Lakers' 4-game home winning streak comes to an end.
For me, the main thing is always the main thing, and that's to win. And I hate it that it had to happen in a defeat. But when the 40,000 point mark hit, definitely looked at my wife and looked at my daughter and my mom, and my daughter was just clapping and pumping her arms up in the air. So that was a super cool moment. So I enjoyed every moment tonight.
March 2nd, 2024, the first player ever to score 40,000 points. It's pretty cool, man.
Moving forward, every time LeBron James scores a basket, it's just going to put him farther and farther, create more and more distance between himself and the legends that came before him. Danny, when you look at LeBron's scoring total, what stands out to you the most?
Just the longevity. He's been doing this for so you can't give the guy enough flowers or enough credit for what he's done and how long he's done it. And so a guy like myself, as a role player, I have to do extra to be in the league, to stay in the league. You don't see superstars do that. For him to put in that type of work, that type of ethic, have that type of work ethic from start to finish. I remember my rookie year, him being the first one in the gym, last one to leave, speaks volumes with his God-given talent, his IQ, how he watches film, how he takes care of his body. Those things are the formula for somebody being great, and said you just never thought he'd be doing it for 20 years.
I mean, the longevity obviously jumps out to me. That's number one on the list.
Yep.
But also his evolution as a scorer. I mean, there were times like when he played the Spurs in the finals, they did not guard him. We showed those highlights of the Warriors not guarding Jaylen Brown. That's what the Spurs would do to LeBron early in his career.
To think that.
And now he's hitting threes all the time. Like
he wasn't known as a scorer.
No, he was not. And then his evolution in the post when he went into the Miami Heat and he learned to play down there and dominate from down there. And now you thought, okay, athletically, could he maintain his level at this age? Yes, and yes, he can't. Like, he used to be kind of a downhill player,
right?
And he's just evolved to have such a complete offensive game, even at this age and stage in his career.
Both of you guys have mentioned longevity, and I know have you ever gone into a GOAT debate with someone and by the end the other person agreed with you? If you were on two different sides, have you ever walked out debating someone and you're like, no, you know what, you're right. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's just that time and time again, as time goes on, Kendrick, when does sustained excellence and longevity start to become more a part of the conversation?
Well, it's going to continue. And also, Malika, the pressure. But, you know, when you talk about the longevity, like Danny was saying, it started when he was, you know, actually 16, right? Like his journey. But when I think about Bron and I think about him not being labeled a scorer, right? And he never wanted to be labeled as just a scorer, and that's okay. But the fact that he did it within the team concept, like no one could ever say LeBron James forced shots. Matter of fact, we actually wanted him to take more shots than he actually did at times. So when you look at the combination of the way that he played the game of basketball with being one of the most unselfish superstars to ever play the game, though, that's what's more impressive to me about the 40K.
He's already 17 points past the 40K club, a club that only he has the velvet ropes being pulled back for. But knowing LeBron, he is already on to the next game because the Lakers, they host the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Los Angeles is actually 2-1 against the Thunder so far this season. I was a little surprised when I looked that up this morning. And LA has a 17% chance to face the Thunder in the first round of the playoffs. That is their highest chance to face any opponent according to ESPN analytics. That is, of course, if they make the playoffs, they only have a 47% chance to do just that. But if we do get the Lakers, we do get the Thunder in a matchup, who are you taking in a 7-game series, Danny Green?
This is a tough one for OKC. For them to be so high on the list and have a welcoming of the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round, I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. Just the experience. With Anthony Davis staying healthy, being healthy, I think OKC lacks size on the inside.
It's really their one big weakness.
With the rebounding, that's where the weakness is. You've seen they give up 31 rebounds to Nurkic. I can see AD and Bron, bigger guards, Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince, those guys having a field day on the offensive glass. So I'm going to give the edge to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just a tough matchup. But if OKC can continue to push the pace and keep their youth, they give themselves a chance with home court advantage.
If that's who they play...
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Lakers too.
Wow,
you're right. That's like if you're the Thunder and you end up with the Lakers.
Oh
my God, I know.
Right now.
And I believe in the Thunder too. Like I just watched them. They are a great young team. I think Shea should be in that MVP conversation. Chet should be in the rookie. But that is a terrible matchup for them. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that's a very difficult match. Now, I think on the perimeter, if the Thunder can get out and run, if they hit their three-point shots, they'll win the series. But in the playoffs, when things slow down and the pace slows down, that's going to be a tough matchup for them, especially inside with LeBron and AD.
Perk, are you going to make it unanimous?
I'm not. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now,
Okay.
if you'd have caught me a couple months ago, I would have went with the Lakers. But this SGA that we're watching right now, for us being one of the guys that I could trust going into this postseason to take over any given series, and then it's the growth for me for Jalen Williams, right? This guy's becoming a certified number 2. He has increased. He should be in the most improved conversation. But when I think about the Oklahoma City Thunder and where they at right now, I see a team that's clicking, a team that's in the film room, a team that got each other back.
Yeah.
And I would have to go with the Oklahoma City Thunder over the Lakers.
Around the league, there's a lot of experienced team that are in that play-in, barely out of the play-in positioning that are thinking, okay, we kind of want to get OKC. And I'm not so sure that many teams should be feeling that confident against this young squad. Yes, their interior defense is a little bit of a weak spot for them, but OKC, I don't think they got next. I think OKC might have now. On to the fourth quarter. This is where things got good. The Suns down 1. Some good ball movement here from the Phoenix Suns. Royce O'Neal finds Eric Gordon for the three-point shot. First lead since the first quarter for the Suns, up 2 at this point. Just over 6 minutes to go in the game. Now the Thunder down 103-101. SGA dribbles through the defense. Tough fadeaway jumper. Ties the game there. And the next Thunder possession, same score. Jalen Williams drives, lays it in. J-Dub has been great this season. Thunder back up in front. SGA, a little going to work, step back, hits the jumper. 35 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. The Thunder, they get the win. So let's take a look at the West standings here, which are still a little bit bunched up, both at the top with the top 4 seeds separated by 2.5 games. And then in the middle, 5 through 8 separated by just 2 games there. Perk, what team, when you're looking at the Mavs, when you're looking at the Timberwolves, when you're looking at all these teams, the Suns, had maybe the most alarming weekend, the most alarming loss?
Yes, it's the Suns, for sure. I mean, just think, Devin Booker went down for injury. We don't know how long that's going to take. Hopefully he'll be back pretty soon. But they lost to the Rockets and then last night to the Oklahoma City Thunder. If you look around the West, we can look at every single team that are in the playoffs and in the play-in tournament, and we could say they are playing playoff basketball right now. We can't say the same about the Phoenix Suns. Here we are time and time again talking about who are they and what is their identity.
Right.
They don't even know. And it goes back to my point of leadership, Malika. Leadership.
Well, you asked about Devin Booker. I saw him last night after the game. He did not have much of a limp going on with that ankle injury. And I think the initial fears, it didn't look good when he got injured. I think there was a lot of fear about how serious that would be. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a long one in terms of games missed. But they can't afford to miss any games.
No,
they've been playing better defense. They've been starting to develop an identity. I think last night, we should point out, Yusuf Nurkic, franchise record, 31 rebounds. Woo. Hope you had him on your fantasy team. But this team had just been starting to get their players healthy and back, developing an identity, and they have a brutal schedule coming up. As Book said to me, I'll be all right, but is all right a week? Is all right 2 weeks? They need him now.
Yeah, I don't like it because they haven't had enough time with their big 3 before going into the playoffs. And these next couple weeks are a good test for the playoffs coming up. And not having Book, we don't know how long it's going to be, but Brad coming back, he had a good game last night. But I just don't like the fact that they haven't spent enough time together before going into this playoff
And they're
run.
sitting there 7th in the standings.
Yeah.
And they
That's
have
play-in
the
tournament.
most difficult remaining schedule of
15 of the next 30 days on the road.
Yeah, that's incredibly difficult, Perk.
Yeah, it's real. And it's going to be crucial. And again, Malika, I'm not trying to be petty right now with Kevin Durant,
Promise?
but that's when I go back to the
I'm not sure I believe
to
you.
the leadership part. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's like, who is going to be that voice? Right now, they need that voice. You could tell in watching their body language just last night. Anytime you want to know if Kevin Durant has signs of frustration, whether that's with himself or the team, just watch his body language. He's going to show it on the floor. So I just think with the Phoenix Suns, They got to have that coming to Jesus meeting right now, and they have to have that identity meeting because too many guys play too freely on that team and not within themselves as far as their role.
It's hard when you don't have Devin Booker and when you don't have
Kevin
Bradley
Durant
Beal,
was
when you're
double
trying to
the whole
organize the offense with those two guys being in and out of the lineup. It seems like Kevin Durant's leadership is his playing style. That's how he sets the tone. And I understand, Perk, you're saying maybe it needs to be a little bit more forceful, a little bit more vocal at this point, but it's hard not to watch what Kevin Durant does for this team and not, I would imagine, as his teammate, feel a fire lit inside of you. And I think that is the way that he leads. It's the way that we've seen him lead in the past. And I imagine the way that we're going to see him lead going forward.